Welcome to another edition of Breaking News brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today, we will discuss the case of Sumeria Systems, Inc., or Sumeria decided by the GAO. In this case, the Air Force issued the RFP to small businesses holding OASIS IDIQs to provide services supporting the Air Force's mission to design, develop, integrate, test, produce, deploy, modernize, sustain, and support the F-15 aircraft for the United States and for U.S. foreign military sales partners worldwide. The solicitation provided that award would be made to the highest technically rated offeror, or HTRO, with a realistic and reasonable price, and established two evaluation factors: technical and cost price. In responding to the solicitation, each offeror would self-score its proposal against the solicitation's technical criteria and must submit a maximum of 5 prior work samples to substantiate its claimed point scores. In its evaluation, the agency would rank the proposals based on scores. The agency would then validate the scores starting with the highest-rated offeror, and if the score was validated, the cost would be evaluated to determine it was both realistic and reasonable before making an award. Prior to the closing date, Sumeria filed this protest challenging the terms of the solicitation. Sumeria asserted that the solicitation's source selection methodology was flawed in that it failed to consider the cost price of all offerors. Specifically, Sumeria complained that the source selection methodology made it impossible for Sumeria to offer a lower price in exchange for a lower technical rating. Accordingly, Sumeria asserted that the solicitation failed to provide every potential offeror with a fair opportunity for award. Sumeria also asserted that the terms of the solicitation are contrary to FAR 16.505, which provides that, in awarding task orders under multiple award IDIQ contracts, an agency must consider cost price as one of the factors in the selection decision. The agency responded that the solicitation does, in fact, include consideration of cost price as a factor in the selection decision, because the terms of the solicitation establish that, prior to making award, the agency will evaluate the cost price of any potential awardee to determine whether it is reasonable, realistic, and balanced. En route to finding against the protester, the GAO noted the evaluation scheme is not contrary to law or regulation. First, GAO continued, FAR 1.102D provides that an agency's chosen procurement procedure that is not prohibited by law or regulation is assumed to be permissible, and FAR subpart 16.505 does not prohibit an HTRO methodology. Further, FAR subpart 16.505 expressly provides a contracting officer broad discretion in establishing the procedures to employ in awarding task orders. Finally, GAO continued, we have stated that, while applicable law and regulation requires an agency to consider cost price in the selection decision, it does not require an agency to perform a trade-off between cost price and the offeror's non-cost price qualifications. Given these facts, the protest was denied. Now, let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include: 1. There is neither a prescribed nor a prohibited best value methodology pertaining to FAR 16.505 procurements. 2. The CO has broad authority to design procedures in the FAR 16.505 environment. And 3. Price is considered even though a trade-off methodology is not used to make the best value decision. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discussed the Sumeria case and the use of the HTRO best value methodology in the FAR 16.505 environment. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.